Hi guys, thanks for joining me for another episode of Cooking in Lipstick. And today we are going to make juicy pork chops. You heard me right, juicy. So you know how sometimes it's really easy to dry out your pork chops, you get them on the plate and they're not as moist as you'd like? Well, today I'm going to show you how to make some really tenderized pork chops. We're going to add a little bit of spice because you know me, and we're going to add some red wine. So let's get started. Okay guys, so we have our pork chops here prepped and ready to go. They're washed and ready to be seasoned. So what I've done is I've prearranged my spices to make things a little easier. I usually do this. And in here what I have is 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of dried thyme, 1 teaspoon of allspice seasoning. And allspice is a Caribbean flavored seasoning that you can find in any grocery store in your international aisle. Down the aisle on the Caribbean shelf is where you can find that. Really great spice, and it also has some salt in it, which is why you don't hear me adding salt to my meat right now. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to sprinkle it on one side. Yummy! Pat that down. Then we're going to flip it over. This is so simple, guys. Really, really easy and tastes great. Take the rest of our seasoning and we can finish it off. Again, just make sure we pat it all in there. Get it all in there. I'm going to do another flip. Get everything covered really well. And we're going to finish off our spice. Awesome. So now your pork chops are well seasoned. Just make sure that you get all of your flavors in there. Now, what I'm going to do in addition to that is, like I said, if anyone who knows me, I'm all about browning. So I do add a little browning to all of my meat, or typically 90% of my meat. So it gives it a little bit of color when it's cooked. And again, you can find this in the same place in your international aisle. Just going to add a little bit, drizzle a little bit. You don't need nothing crazy. Then you're going to rub it all in. And we're going to flip it and just make them touch each other. Okay, just want a little bit of color on both sides. Get your hands all in there. All right, now in addition to that, it's VH, and VH actually carries a lot, again, of your international flavors. And what I'm going to do, this one's called Spicy Thai Chili, and it gives it a little bit of heat, which I'm all about the heat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add, let me get my thing over here, a total of about 3 or 4 teaspoons. And then once I have that, and again, this is completely optional, okay? So you don't have to add spice if you don't want. I know not everybody likes spice the way that I do. So this is completely optional. If you choose not to include it, all you have to do is when you're done with the seasonings I just threw on the pork chops, you are pretty much almost there. So again, if you don't want to add the heat, no worries. I just like to have my spice. Usually I put gloves on when I'm doing things like this. Today I was kind of out of it. Okay, so this is what your spicy pork chops is going to look like. All of the seasonings are on it. I've just placed about 3 or 4 teaspoons of the spicy Thai chili sauce on there as well. That was my last ingredient. So pretty much everything is done. Now the only thing that I'm going to add to this is a little bit of red wine, Merlot. And the reason for that, you can use any red wine you like, is because I'm going to actually let it marinate for a few hours. I'm going to put it in the fridge and let it marinate. And so what I'm going to add is only about, let's say 1 cup, not even, yeah, about 1 cup. 1 cup of red wine sauce. And you're going to let it just marinate in that for a couple of hours. We're going to let it sit and we're going to let all the juices carry through. It's going to be nice and tender and moist. So all I need to do now is throw some saran wrap on that, stick it in the fridge for a few hours, and then we're going to come back and cook her up. All right, so we've got our oven heated up to 360, and now we've got a pan here. We're just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil on our pan, and we are going to take our pork chops that is very marinated, and we're going to place it on our baking sheet. Get them all there. There we go. Now we're just going to head over to the oven. And you can see it's ready at 360, preheated. And we're just going to get our pork chops. We're not going to cover them. We're just going to slide them into the oven. And we're going to give it a good 30 minutes and check back. Okay guys, it's been about 12 minutes that the chops have been in the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull them out. Oh, they're looking lovely. I'm going to pull them out and I'm just going to turn them over. Nice. Looking great. And we're going to leave them in for about another 12 minutes. I'm just getting the feel of it here. It feels pretty good. I like my chops done and cooked properly, but not overdone. So let's slide them back in there. You can see all those juices coming out. We're going to slide it back in and leave it for another 12 minutes or so. Guys, so it's been about 12 minutes and I'm just going to pull this out and check, and it looks fantastic. It's actually ready. Look at all of that juice. Lovely. All right, let me take it over here. Actually, I just turned that stove off. All right, so now that we have our pork chops done, it took about 25 minutes in the oven, and I have a little trick actually. So I have a little trick to seal in the moisture and the goodness. And basically what I do is I've melted about 2 teaspoons of butter, and I'm just going to drizzle it on the pork chops. Look at that. Drizzle, drizzle. Lovely. And then just going to touch them each with it. This makes such a huge difference, and it just seals and locks in all that flavor. And now what I'm going to do is stick it back in the oven on grill, which is your top burner. You're going to grill it for 2 minutes, and then it's a done deal. All right, let's grab this out of the oven for the last time. Look at that. Lovely. All right, and these pork chops are done. They've got a nice, juicy, tender taste to them, I am sure. I'm just plating them over here. Look at all of this juice. Oh my goodness. This is all that you're going to be eating. I just have to marinate this. Juicy, tender pork chops. They look great. They smell even better, and I can't wait to dive into it. Try this recipe and let me know how you like it. And please don't forget to subscribe and to like at the bottom. Talk to you soon.